Is the US government secretly selling off all its gold to buy Bitcoin? You've probably seen the headlines, but the real story is so much crazier and, honestly, way more brilliant than just emptying out Fort Knox. It's not a sale. It's what I'm calling the biggest financial accounting hack in modern history. Forget everything you've heard, because what's really happening could change the global financial system forever. So, here's the secret. The United States holds over 8,000 tons of gold. But on its official books, this gold is valued at a bizarrely low price, just $42.22 per ounce. That price wasn't set last week or last year. It was set in 1973. Think about that for a second. The price of everything has skyrocketed since then, but the official value of America's gold has been frozen in time for over 50 years. Today, gold is trading for well over $4,000 an ounce. This means the US government is sitting on a treasure chest that is officially undervalued by more than 100 times. It's like owning a mansion in Beverly Hills but having it listed on your balance sheet for the price of a used car. This isn't just an oversight. It's a massive, hidden asset waiting to be unlocked. And that's exactly what a new proposal, the Bitcoin Act of 2025, aims to do. This act doesn't propose selling a single ounce of gold. Instead, it proposes something much smarter, revaluing the gold to its current market price. Imagine you have a government document, a gold certificate, that says your gold is worth $42. The proposal is to simply update that certificate to say it's worth, let's say, $2,300. By doing this one simple accounting adjustment, the US Treasury would instantly create hundreds of billions of dollars in new, spendable capital out of thin air. It's not printing money in the traditional sense. It's correcting a 5-decade-old bookkeeping error. This is the core of the plan: unlock hidden value without liquidating the underlying asset. To make this easier to understand, let's use a home equity analogy. Imagine you bought a house 20 years ago for $100,000. Today, that house is worth $500,000. You've built up $400,000 in home equity. Now, if you need cash, you don't have to sell your house. You can take out a home equity loan or refinance, borrowing against the increased value. You get the cash you need, and you still own your house. This is exactly what the government is planning to do with its gold. The gold is the house. The massive difference between its 1973 price and today's price is the equity. By revaluing the gold, the Treasury is essentially saying, we have all this equity, let's borrow against it. They get hundreds of billions in cash to use, and all 8,000 tons of gold stay securely in the vaults. It's a genius move that taps into unrealized gains, turning lazy equity that's just sitting there into active capital. This isn't a sale, it's a strategic financial maneuver, a refinancing of the nation's oldest asset. So, the big question is, what will they do with all this newly created money? This is where Bitcoin enters the picture. The proposal suggests using this capital to establish a strategic Bitcoin reserve. The goal is ambitious, for the US to acquire and hold 5% of all Bitcoin that will ever exist. Why this specific target? It is a strategic move to establish the US as a dominant player in the future of digital finance. The logic is a massive bet on the future. They see gold as a stable, but slow-growing asset, a store of value. It's reliable, but it is not going to generate the kind of explosive growth needed to tackle America's biggest problem, the $36 trillion national debt. Bitcoin, on the other hand, is seen as the ultimate growth asset. It's volatile, yes, but its potential for appreciation is unparalleled. The government is essentially looking to swap the lazy equity from its gold for the high-growth potential of digital gold. It is a calculated gamble to trade the safety of the past for the potential profits of the future. The thinking is if Bitcoin performs as many expect it to over the next decade, the returns from this investment could be large enough to start making a real dent in the national debt, something that gold alone could never do. Now, let's be real. This plan is not without its risks. What happens if this massive bet on Bitcoin fails? What if Bitcoin's price crashes instead of soaring? The government would be left with a significant loss on its books, and the newly created money could fuel inflation, devaluing the dollar. Critics argue this is playing with fire, using complex financial engineering to solve a fundamental spending problem. They worry that it sets a dangerous precedent, essentially creating money based on the fluctuating value of assets. Is this a stroke of financial genius that will secure America's economic dominance for the next century? Or is it a reckless, inflationary gamble that could backfire spectacularly? The debate is fierce. Supporters see it as a forward-thinking strategy to embrace the digital age and tackle an insurmountable debt problem with a modern solution. They argue that sitting on undervalued gold is fiscally irresponsible when a high-growth asset like Bitcoin exists. Opponents, however, see it as a desperate move that introduces unprecedented risk into the nation's finances. They believe that the stability of gold should not be leveraged for a speculative bet on a volatile digital currency. It's the ultimate showdown between old money and new money, between tradition and innovation. So, to sum it all up, the US isn't selling its gold. It's planning to keep every single bar. The plan is to update the gold's value from its 1973 price to today's market price, creating hundreds of billions of dollars on paper. This new capital will then be used to buy a massive stake in Bitcoin, with the ultimate goal of owning 5% of the total supply. It's a plan to have the best of both worlds, holding onto the ultimate safe haven asset, gold, while also making a huge investment in what could be the ultimate growth asset, Bitcoin. This is a story that's still unfolding, and it could be one of the most significant financial pivots in American history. It's not just about buying Bitcoin. It's about redefining the very nature of government assets and debt management. We are watching a high-stakes financial experiment play out on the world stage. What do you think? Is this a brilliant move or a disaster waiting to happen? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching. If you found this breakdown insightful, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the financial stories that are shaping our world. See you in the next one.